Hi, my name is Zach, and I am an alcoholic. Today we're going to be playing Baldur's Gate 3 while talking a little bit about my sobriety journey. And I kind of want to focus mainly on recreating yourself as you find recovery. I'd like to do a series on this channel where we find ways to tie sobriety and recovery into different forms of media, help people to find ways to maybe show nudity. Yes, that's not a question. To help people to find a way to work being sober into their lives and to recognize that it is possible to engage in many hobbies. And this is important for various reasons. Use a slider to match the symbol's visibility. So the reason that it's so important to find new hobbies or to work on rekindling your relationship with old hobbies when you are getting into your personal recovery journey is that anhedonia is a very real, very serious thing. Anhedonia, if you don't know, is the inability to enjoy things, the inability to perceive pleasure from things that you either once found enjoyable before your journey into addiction, things that you enjoyed especially while you were in active use, right? So as I said, I'm an alcoholic my whole life, mainly since middle school. I've been very into video games. I struggled as a child with certain anxieties and depression, and the game that really helped to bring me out of that was The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker for the Nintendo GameCube. That was my first sort of foray into a fantasy world where I felt like I was taken away from a lot of the stress. And that's not an entirely healthy coping skill in and of itself, but I was a young teenager. What do you want from me? Video gaming as a hobby is still very much a prominent part of my life. Let's see, what are we doing? Select your difficulty. We're gonna go with balanced. Life is all about balance, right? The yin, the yang. You take the good with the bad. But yeah, so I still very much enjoy video games. Collecting, playing, going on the hunt for a rare game. I don't get to play too much for enjoyment or pleasure anymore with where I am in my life, mainly because I went from being always drunk and stuck in a rut of drinking myself to complete organ failure, which we might talk a little bit about later on, either in this episode or in a future episode, to now I work for a recovery center. I'm an alumni coordinator there, and what that means is that anybody who comes into our facility, once they've graduated, my job is to help to keep them engaged. So that's a very time-consuming job, sometimes stressful, but very rewarding. We just talked about balance, Yeah, it is a stressful and time-consuming job, but the reward is getting to see people find success in their sobriety. We're not just going to talk about recovery. I'll probably give some... No. Oh, no. No! Please don't! Oh. What have I gotten myself into? Don't touch me. Is this me? Don't touch me. With your little sperm. Oh, no. Oh, what are my phobias? is entomophobia. I'm terrified of bugs. It's always been a problem. It's one of my identifying features. Almost shamefully enough, it's quite embarrassing. But I do have a very good community of people around me who help me, oftentimes by teasing me and reminding me that I'm in no danger. Um, so that's good to have. We'll talk on this channel a lot about community and family and building that. And I think that that'll be one of the focuses. Tutorials can help you learn about the core mechanics of Baldur's Gate 3. Would you like to turn them on? Yeah. This is probably a good time to tell you that I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. I think I had played an earlier Baldur's Gate game way back in the day, and I'm not even sure of that. Well, we don't look much different either way, do we? I identify as male. Oh, there we go. See if we can't find one that right there. I am massive man. Yeah. Oh, so I'm a skinny boy. We'll keep our boy skinny. I haven't always been a skinny boy. Lots of things have changed about me since getting sober. So what is this? Plays an existing character. Oh, so we don't have to create a new character, but we'll go ahead. And I thought that this would be a good game to play for the topic of recreating yourself. Right? So how do we do this? I don't want to be a high elf. How do I change all this? Okay, here we go. Alright, let's see what we got. Tiefling. Oh, little devil boy. A drow? Ruthless pragmatism. Pragmatism. Reading comprehension. Okay. Let's see. A human. That's me. I am human. It's probably what we're going to go with. But I could be whatever I wanted. And in your sobriety, you'll have to forgive my attention span. I have near permanent wet brain. I could be a halfling, dragonborn, half orc. Okay, let's go with human because I identify as a human, and if you identify as a, I don't know, as a dragonborn, have at her, man. Do you? And the cool thing about the recovery community is that they're gonna love you no matter what. Base racial speed. I can move 9 per turn. I've been sober for, I don't want to misspeak, at the time of this recording, I've been sober for 3 years, 7 months, and 26 days. And I still am learning things, recovery-centered things from the community around me. And it's a wonderful thing because you really never do stop learning. Even when you think that you know all there is to know about sobriety and recovery, well, then guess what? There's a new breakthrough in the neuroscience around addiction, and there's something brand new for you to learn, or there's a new strategy that's been developed that's shown empirical evidence to be effective in modifying behavior. So that's one of the most magnificent things about addiction, is that it's always changing. Of course, it's scary too because you got to stay on your toes, and if you don't, you will very likely fall prey to a lapse or a return to use, whatever verbiage you want to use. I know there's some politically correct phrases, and I'll probably speak out of line about Some of the terminology that I use is probably a little outdated. You gotta realize that, you know, I'm part of my recovery community, and some of that is old timers, some of it's newcomers like me. So a lot of us don't identify as, you know, an alcoholic or an addict. They a lot of times will identify as a person in recovery. We'll get to that. I'm rambling. It's already wasted a lot of your time. Let's see what we got. Human versatility. What is all this? What is all this? What is all this? Oh, this is just telling me about. Okay, cool. We'll learn about this as we go. In recovery, you tend to find things out as you're challenged with them. I'm not a rogue. I'm not a sorcerer. I don't want to stare at my own back. See what we got. A warlock is bound by a pact to an all-powerful patron. Warlocks trade their loyalty for supernatural abilities and unique magic. That's kind of cool. Wizard. Barbarian, huh? Look at that, dude. A lot of times in RPGs, I will go with the really melee-heavy character because I'm not a very melee-heavy person. So when I put myself in these role-playing games, I like to pick something that I'm not. However, for the sake of the subject matter in this series, that being incorporating hobbies into your personal recovery, forming yourself, finally getting to meet yourself and who you really are outside of your active use, I'm gonna try to pick one that I think really does line up with me. So we're not gonna go for fighter. No, there was a time in my life, but we're well past that. A monk. Channel your cosmic enlightenment by deftly dodging and efficiently disassembling your foes through stunning strikes and a whirlwind of martial art attacks. Well, that seems neat, but I've been accused of having a lot more patience than maybe a lot of people would, but I would say I'm certainly not a monk. Paladin, fueled by the oath you swore to uphold justice and righteousness, you are a beacon of hope in dark times. Maybe. I do like that. I do like that. Now, maybe that's not super humble for me to say that I try to play the role of a beacon of hope for a lot of people who are early on in their recovery. I'm still just a baby, but when it comes to, you know, recovery, you know, music is more than a fancy. It is power. Oh, that's not a hyphen. Music is more than a fancy. It is power. Through study and adventure, you have mastered song, speech, and the magic within. As you can tell, I'm not great at speaking, as I tend to ramble. Clerics are representatives of the gods they worship, wielding potent divine magic for good or ill. I'm assuming this is a lot of buffs and debuffs. Let's go back to this bard. Though I'm not superbly eloquent at speaking in front of a camera, I do think that my strength is usually my charisma. It's charisma. Here it is. 17. With +3 to charisma checks, +5 to saving throws. And again, I don't know what any of this means. So that is high charisma. Looks like maybe the highest charisma. What's that? Paladin has fairly high charisma too. I love that beacon of hope. Isn't that what we all want to be? I wonder if I can. What is this? Sorcerer, also high charisma. Sorcerers are natural spellcasters, drawing on inherent magic from a gift or bloodline. The only thing I've inherited in my bloodline is a little bit of ADHD and you know, some male pattern thinning. I don't know about all that. I did say I wanted to be as true to myself as I possibly could. What's the Bard do? I'm assuming also buffs and debuffs. How useful is that going to be in a single player experience? Doesn't matter. Cantrips. What? Change your weapon cantrip selection by choosing from the spell list below. Cantrips don't use spell slots. I don't understand what this means. Huh. Okay, so I have these two. I have Vicious Mockery. Well, that's mean. Insult a creature has disadvantage on its next attack roll. I don't like that. Create a spectral hand that can manipulate and interact with objects. Gain advantage on your next attack roll. Friend. Gain advantage on charisma checks against non-hostile creatures. I like that. Dancing lights. Okay, that lets me light up a radius. Light. Minor illusion. Who says we have to keep this at a single player experience? Let's work on... Might get into some of the multiplayer. I don't usually do that, but let's grow together. True Strike. What is this? Take only half the damage from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing attacks. I have learned in my sobriety that you have to have very thick skin. People who are entering treatment, for instance, they're capable of lashing out, saying some hurtful things, you know. You also learn the importance of honesty throughout your journey with sobriety, and that's something that a lot of people really struggle with. I encourage that negative, brutal feedback from my peers, because I think that it's important for growth. And I think that you should too, but be careful, right? Because going back to balance, there's got to be a balance there. You're going to hear a lot of things about yourself, and you're going to learn a lot of things about yourself that you don't like, that you've never really thought of. And it's important that you become able to take that feedback and use it to grow instead of to take it as a personal attack or an insult on yourself. So we got a healing spell. We have an enchantment spell, frighten a creature. Okay. Tasha's hideous laughter. Leave a creature prone with laughter without the ability to get up. So I can make somebody laugh so hard that it lets me kill them. Heroism. Level 1 enchantment spell. Make yourself or a target immune to frightened and gain 5 temporary hit points each turn. What is my hit points is only 9. Huh. Disguise yourself. Sleep. That's nice. That's something. When you're in active use, sleep is a lot different than what it is when you're sober. When you're in active use, your sleep tends to be, for me, it was, passing out from consuming too much alcohol or taking a few extra pills that I shouldn't have been taking, mixing them with alcohol. And just sleep for me was a loss of consciousness, which is it's not restful sleep at all. Speak with animals, are you kidding me? No, don't move that there. What happened? Put this, no. Oh no, I've forgotten heal. That's what it was. Heal and talk. We're talking to some animals, man. Immunity to falling damage. That could be useful. I am a very adventurous person. I don't want to frighten anybody. Let's not get hurt when we fall. How's that? Wait. Heal a creature you can touch. What is this? Heal a creature you can see. Healing word. I like that. Stay in line with the poetic theme of this. little chat we're having. Instrument, dude. I love all of these. I don't play the violin. I can't play pitch instruments. I can play mandolin. It's tuned the same. Oh. A hand drum. Common musical instrument. Are these all common? Sure, maybe we'll get some... There we go. There we go. Since we are shaping me, I do play the cajon. A colleague of mine and I, we like to go play music. We'll do music therapy at the treatment center where we're employed. We go out and perform, just pretty much busk for free, you know, on the streets of our town, just to hang out, and everybody enjoys music, right? What is this? My background? Well, charlatan. Sure. That's now. Is this going to decide who I currently am? I spent my life servicing the temple of Jim Beam. I lied and manipulated my way to any bottle of whiskey I could. I stole and sold and drove under the influence to get the money to buy the whiskey. Entertainer. I like that. Folk hero, you're a champion of the common people. That is what I aim to be, so... This is talking about in current times. Saving innocence in imminent danger will make your legend grow. That is literally my life's work at this point in my recovery. I like that. Now, all of my points have been assigned. What is dexterity? Let's see. Agility, reflexes, and balance affect your effectiveness with ranged and finesse weapons. Alright. In real life, my dexterity is not very high, so... I would do that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so here we are. Muscles and physical power. Well, that doesn't sound right either. Constitution, what do we got here? It checks stamina and physical endurance. Also not great. I will say that I have come a long way from where I was. Intelligence, memory, and mental power. My memory is terrible. Permanent wet brain. Wisdom. I should really probably just put all of these at 0 if we're wanting to reflect me. That's probably the best way to do that. And then grow... I don't know how this game works. I'm not sure the mechanics of it. But grow naturally through the game. Wisdom is senses and intuition. Alright, we got that. Improves spell casting for clerics, druids, and rangers. Your ability points come from 10 base. We'll keep it at a +0. Intelligence, we'll keep that there. Can I not go any higher? I guess 13 is about as high as you can go, huh? I don't know what a saving throw is. I don't know what proficiency means. Charisma, +1 bonus to... I see now. What does intelligence do? But I'm not a wizard, so do I learn spell casting? I'm going to say probably. I would say that... Let's do this. Let's do this. Here we go. I'm alright with that. Racial skills. You may customize your skill proficiencies in the list below. If you are proficient in a skill, you add a bonus to those skill checks, making you more likely to succeed. By the way, D&D fans, people who are experienced with Dungeons and Dragons, are probably looking at whatever I just did here. And they're probably going nuts. And I'm just now realizing that you guys can't really see a whole lot of what's going on. Put myself right here on my guy's face. How's that gonna work? Yeah, so there is no good place for me to put my screen. So we're gonna cover up right down here. Should be the less invasive. Now maybe you guys can follow along a little bit better with what's going on. I apologize for that. I am very short-sighted. Another one of my many weaknesses. Athletics, no. So what do we got? Investigation is high. Remember the past of the world and its people. Animal handling, heck yeah. I love me a good dog, you know it. Got a cat named Roscoe that lives on my front porch. We bring him in the winter. A good dog, Roscoe the cat. I don't know what any of this is. Observe your environment. Spot hidden details. Medicine. Do I... What do I do? Oh, oops. What's happening? I see. Where was that? I've ruined everything. Investigation is where it was. Let's see what we've got, though. What's religion do? I wouldn't call myself... I do have religion. I don't know that my personal religion plays a huge role in my daily life. I would say that my spirituality does, but religion and spirituality are two completely different things. Let's see, what do we have here? Skill proficiencies, okay. So, is that not what I literally just did? Okay. Where are they assigned? Deception. Lie and cheat. Manipulate the truth. I don't like that. Intimidation. Be a bully. I don't like that. Persuasion. Turn on the charm. Okay, cool. I like that. Entertain audiences. I like that. Perception. Where did we put the other one? Put it into insight. So let's see what else we've got. Sleight of hand. Steal stuff. Helps you pick locks that can be useful. But we've gotten away from that lifestyle in our sobriety. Stealth. Okay. I like this. I do. I do like that, and I'll tell you why. It's important to remember the people you meet. Okay, randomize. We're not doing that. Oh, okay. 2 out of 4. What are we... Okay, I see. We've done this already. The voice, I don't think matters.
What was that?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
Be wary.
It's opened. I wonder what's back there.
More of those wretched things.
There's magic keeping this chest sealed.
Where to next?
What was that?
I don't know. I don't have an English accent. I can't identify with any of those voices. Face. Also, I'm white. I don't know if anybody's noticed. There we go. I don't know that my physical appearance is gonna matter at all. I mean, I'm gonna have to look at it, I guess, during cutscenes, probably. How white am I? I'm kind of red. Is it maybe just my shirt? Nah. Okay, that's good enough. Maturity. I'm mature as hell. Fart eater. Oh, that's how old are you? I am a young buck. I do have crow's feet and smile lines because I smile big and I smile often. Didn't used to. Freckles? I don't know. I don't look at myself. What's this mean? Oh. What a word. Heterochromia, huh? And eye color. I got me some. What color are my eyes? They're blue. Like this. I think like that. I have no face tattoos. Oh, but we might have to change that. Look at that. Alright. We're gonna go without the face tattoos. Got a lot of friends with a lot of face tattoos. I don't have any. I also don't have eye makeup. I'm also not sure of my lip tint. Hairstyle. Oh, yeah. I promise I'll get back to talking about what we wanted to talk about just as soon as I find a good, solid, high and tight haircut. I mean, we got 87 of these to dig through. It's good to have options. I'm thinking, start at the beginning. I thought would have been a good idea. These are all such outlandish haircuts. For me. There we go. That's kind of... It's close. Close enough. What color is my hair? All you see when I look down is my scalp. What is that? I'm not a ginger. Black red, black raven, black gray, black neutral. Oh man, so many colors, right? What's up with that? Look, it could be anything I wanted. And that's what we're gonna get into. I think that's... What'd you say? Would you say? Let's see what else we got. Well, yeah, there we go. I don't see any highlights anywhere. Okay. Graying. Facial hair. I cannot, for the life of me, grow a beard. I have no piercings. Genitals? Default. Penis B. What are we talking about? Oh. I see what's gonna happen. Because I don't know how to blur, I'll learn. It's all about learning. Oh. Okay. I can see my guy's penis. But there we go. Penis D. Alright. Can I change my clothes? Speaking of. And how do I tell it that I'm done? Review. Enter name. Let's see, rename character. My name is Zach. Spelled as obnoxiously as one could possibly spell Zach. That's a challenge. Teach me something in the comments. I need a guardian. What does the guardian do? We just leave it, I suppose, at this random guardian. And we'll learn. So when you're first, let's talk for real now. When you're first coming into sobriety, you are going to start to feel things because for a lot of your active use, whether you were conscious of it or not, you were running from feelings a lot of the time, right? You didn't allow yourself to feel things. And throughout the lifespan of a person who is not afflicted with addiction, they learn certain coping skills. They're exposed to certain factors that they tolerate, they grow, they learn, they become more resistant, more perseverant. Us as addicts, we've robbed ourselves of that, right? Our disease has allowed us to take that away from ourselves, because anytime something bad happened, I don't know about you guys, but for me, you know, of course it'd be straight to the bottle, and I would drink not to drown my sorrow so much as I would, oh no, to liven myself up, right? To make it easier to have fun. And apparently when you die, you go into a sternum where they put sperm in your eye. Now I remember. So you're not gonna be the biggest fan of yourself for a little while, and that's part of the challenge of getting sober and staying sober, or instead of just saying staying sober, we'll say entering recovery, right? Going from sobriety and into recovery, because the two things are different. How are sobriety and recovery different? We tend to use those as synonyms more often than not. But the fact of the matter is that sobriety just means that you are abstaining from use. And recovery is exactly that. You are recovering from your disease. That was really cool. You're recovering from every aspect of your disease of addiction. So for me, that didn't just mean not drinking. For me, that meant changing my lifestyle, learning who I was really, rediscovering my idea of morality, what I considered to be right from wrong, relearning my personal set of values, relearning what I wanted from somebody in a relationship, not necessarily a romantic relationship. That was the last thing on my mind for quite a while. But a friendship, or just to maintain any facet of a relationship with somebody, even if it's rebuilding the familial relationships with my parents and my siblings, all of that. I had to acknowledge some hard truths about myself, some of my weakness, some of the decisions that I made, because when you're in active use, you don't forget right from wrong. Your brain tells you that it's okay to do what you know is inherently wrong, and your brain tells you that in doing that, you will acquire your substance, and that is what is right. It's a debilitating disease, and there's no logic in the thought. You know, your sense of self-preservation even goes completely out the window, and you engage in activities that are very likely to kill you. And in my case, it almost did. And it's very common for people early in their recovery to be very embarrassed. I almost said, "Oh, what an ugly son of a bitch," and then I remembered that's literally the person I just chose. Speaking of not liking yourself very much, right? It's very common for people early in recovery to fall into a depression because, one, they're feeling all of these things for the first time, or for the first time in a long time, and they're learning about themselves, things that they don't like, or maybe things that they already knew about themselves more likely, but it was easier to ignore. What is happening?
Back in that thing.
Okay, so we're out of there. Yeah, that's right. We're not. This is active use. This Mind Flayer pod, We're not getting back into it. That's our old lifestyle. The importance of crafting a new you cannot be understated. And a lot of people who are maybe curious about achieving sobriety or finding recovery
Came from the parasite now writhing behind
will
your
make the
eye.
argument that, well, that's disingenuous. Right, so they'll say, well, what do you mean craft a new me? This is who I am. This is me. Why would I craft a new me? That's a lie. Well, no, that's not accurate. You are who you choose to be, and that is reflected in your actions. It's reflected in your ideas of right and wrong, how you conduct yourself, and how you maintain relationships with other people, as we've stated. So you have the freedom now to wash yourself clean, maybe not in whatever this is. Yeah, let's reach toward the pool and wash ourselves clean. And well, that's fine. And because of that, we got some green stuff.
Good.
And you get to form a new person. It's the exact same thing. And the most basic idea, a sphinx. Where am I? Crawl right out the ass. Into the ass? Where are we going? The idea is that you get to become something new. You get to pick who you want to be, and you're going to strive to become that. And you practice. A feeling penetrates your mind, an anomaly, one like ourselves, unconnected from the whole. Caution.
Worlds beyond worlds flash before your eyes. Empires of a grand design traversed by ships just like this.
So what you're going to do is you're going to set yourself goals, right? And you're going to work towards each of these goals one at a time. You could try to do many at once, but it's much easier to maintain than to accelerate. Wouldn't you agree? So a good practice is to write down, if you're not, working along with the big books and doing your steps, or even if you are, write down a list of virtues that the idea you would hold to be of the utmost value. Would you say?
Wonder what plane they're from.
I've had it with these snakes on this plane. And you are going to focus on building yourself towards achieving the status that is feeling as though you are one who behaves in a manner that is congruent with the behaviors you would expect to see out of somebody who lives by those virtues. And essentially what that might boil down to for some is to fake it until you make it. And it might feel that way for a while. It might feel disingenuous. But that's growth. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to have to stop and think to make decisions.
Before they return! They return. Remove us from this body, from this case. Free us, please.
I feel like I forgot what we were talking about. You're going to have to stop to think to make decisions. That's what we were talking about. Just like this, right? You're going to have to roll the die often. Sometimes you'll get a critical success, but don't expect it too often, especially not early on before you've learned and grown.
A swelling of the brain causing pressure where it strains against the shell of the skull.
Huh. Oh, now see, this is where I've forgotten everything that we just went through. What did I do with my dexterity? I don't remember. Let's see. Let's just try to be gentle. So we'll roll success. So what do we got? A 27. But I feel like taking this brain out of this guy is maybe...
From the skull. But you notice an opportunity. You could cripple the strange creature, making it more subservient, should it prove a threat.
I don't like that. Let's explore this. So were we to decide to mutilate the brain, that would be for our own good. We don't know that this thing is dangerous to us. We know that it is injured. We know that it seems to be asking for help. We should probably give it the opportunity. And until we're maybe proven wrong.
Free. Our freedom is ours, friend.
Yay, we're
Creature
friends.
pauses, listening. Something behind your eyes seizes in recognition.
Is talking to my brain.
Let's go to the helm. At the helm, we are needed.
Is it manipulating me? Attack the brain. I did a lot of attacking my brain, baby. We'll just leave it alone. Let's... Alright, us. Who are we? Gotcha. I will let you know. I'm not even... Let's go to the helm. I don't care. I ain't got nothing better to do. So as you're going on about your life, fresh in... Some allies may temporarily join you. You can directly control their movement and actions with L2. You got reactions, cool. Select. Oh, I get to be us. Look at my little us butt. What a butt. This thing is creepy. Brain jar. Tentacle aquarium. Let's get in there. We want to go swimming. Let's get in the brain jar. Okay. Oh, cool. Whatever. Let's go back to what we were doing.
I have a lot on my mind.
You will be faced with decisions. Again, I do recommend working the steps because it is, I don't want to say, you know, a flawless way to find yourself in recovery. That certainly is far from true. However, it is a great way to make amends. It's a great way to learn about yourself. It's a great way to address those ugly past behaviors. And when you do that and you communicate openly and honestly with other people in recovery who can help to hold you accountable, then that's when you're going to find true opportunities for genuine growth.
Doesn't do anything.
And the reason that it's so important to to surround yourself with people who are maybe not necessarily like-minded, but have at least in common with you the addiction, or the history of addiction, or the understanding of addiction, or the history of anxiety and depression, or suicidality, or tendencies for self-harm, or whatever it is you've struggled with. The important part of that is to remember that, you know, just like anything else that's diagnosable, this is a disease. And you can't rely on the organ that is sick to diagnose and treat the disease.
This is your end.
Don't kill me. I got a brain with me.
And your skin tingles. Visions rush past. A dragon's wing, a silver sword.
This is bizarre. I didn't do anything, lady.
What is this?
I don't know.
You are no thrall. Vlaakith blesses me this day. Together, we might survive.
Dude, I want an outfit like that in real life.
Who am I? Your only chance of survival.
Good. She must be my sponsor. I actually don't have a sponsor, but
First,
I do recommend it.
then we find the helm and take control of the ship.
My recovery was unique and didn't
As for
offer
that
me
thing,
a lot of
It will remain
the
tame as long as it believes we are thralls.
opportunities, or at least I chose not to seize many of the opportunities I could have had when it comes to finding a sponsor. I am very blessed in that I have a lot of support around me. People with and without a history of addiction. Let's learn about combat. Get ready to fight. Combat happens in rounds, and each participant gets a turn to act. The game pauses around you during combat, so you have time to plan your actions. So right now, we're going to focus a little bit on the gameplay. We'll talk about my lack of a sponsor later. I also don't sponsor anybody. Let's talk about that real quick. I have a lot of people ask me if I will sponsor them, and I tell them no, and I tell them no because I know that I'm pretty soft-handed. I'm pretty gentle with my approach. I'm very empathic, and it takes a lot for me to get to the point where I become stern and I surrender my my desire to engage in silly, nonsensical, whimsical, overly positive behaviors, right? So I know that that's not conducive to what a lot of people need, because we, as addicts, we are dying, we're overdosing, we're drinking ourselves to death. I know that a lot of people need somebody who will be stern and heavy-handed, and that's just not me. That's not my personality. Also, I've never worked all the way through the steps. I've seen other people work through the steps, and I've worked very far into the steps. However, I have not yet finished them, and like I said, I'm 3 years, 7 months clean. So, you know, it's not a race. I am insightful enough to recognize that where I am right now, I can continue to work my steps at a leisurely pace. I'm past that critical point where every decision is going to affect me immediately, and now I'm in more of a place in my life where I can sort of relax and focus on helping others by leading by example. And I do that by staying engaged in my recovery community. I do that by helping others. Whenever they put their hand out, I make sure I grab it. And I keep in touch with anybody who has a desire to receive communication from me. And that helps me, right? Like, so the job that I have really, really helps me to stay engaged with my own sobriety. And we've gone really far off track here, so let's say this. If there is an audience for this, and if anybody enjoys this content, then the next episode I make will be more structured, and we will pick a topic and focus on it more. And maybe we won't do that in the opening portion of what is proving to be a very complex and deep, mechanically speaking, role-playing game. But I'll go ahead and put this out just in the raw form that it's in. And if anybody found any of my rambling incoherent, though I'm certain it was, to be helpful in the slightest, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment letting me know that you'd like more of this, and I would love to. I would love to sit down and map out a conversation where we can actually talk about these different ideas in recovery and how to maintain recovery, how to achieve recovery from sobriety, how to achieve sobriety from active use. We say it all the time in our AA and NA meetings that, you know, that 24-hour token or your first key tag that you get, that's the most important. And it's true. If you can get past that first 24 hours, if you can make that decision that it's time to look for some kind of help, whether it be inpatient treatment, whether it be therapy, whether it be going to meetings, whether it be locking yourself in your house with somebody that you love and trust who is going to hold you accountable and keep you from leaving, no matter what it is. If you've gotten to that point where you're willing to admit that, yes, this thing is more than just my mindset, this is a disease, this is something that I require community assistance with because my brain is sick, your brain is sick, but it's not my brain. So by putting our brains together, maybe we can help me to overcome what is plaguing and ailing me. And maybe once I've achieved that, I can maintain that and pay it forward to the next person. Once you get to that point, everything unfolds if you can maintain and find a way to continue living. There's going to be adjustments that you have to make throughout your whole life. But once you make those, it is a challenge every day. And it does not get easier. But you do get better. So let me know. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you want more of this. And I would love to put some more out for you guys. And let me know what you want me to talk about, and I'll work on something in terms of structure so that we can have a cohesive and more focused